Please join us, don't leave.
You're gonna stick
It's gonna be the
around?
most riveting team meeting.
Actually, Jason has a lot of cool technology tips.
Yes.
There's a lot of neat
so-
stuff today. We are gonna
Yes,
Gemini
it'll
your
be worth
Gemini. When you're Geminiing your Gemini.
Excuse
We're not twins, but there's a chat.
Gemini,
Look at that
Oh, yeah.
He's chatting with us.
Is that within command?
Oh, there you go.
Is that a
Don't leave.
See, you definitely need to be here for that, because is it in command is one of the first questions I answer.
I don't know who's command.
Right, and that's why you need to know the answer.
You need a little more practice.
You gotta know. Hey, here we are, I think we're at 11, it's really close to 11, and I see we're starting to get some fun people joining our meeting here today, and we're excited to bring you a little different meeting. So bear with us, buckle up your safety belts, and be prepared for silliness. Because Jamie's on the road today. His flight has been delayed, if that makes you curious, just to know, he is headed to somewhere that's warm, but apparently the planes are still here, so he hasn't had a chance to make it yet. But you might have already detected, if you're sitting at home, that we're in a different setup. My good friend Grace and I are here, we're gonna tell some funny stories, we're gonna talk about some stuff, and we're gonna deliver all the same things that we normally do to an audience of 2. No, there's actually 5 people. Oh, just lied, Drake showed up, now we've got 6. We have a bustling room. And I'm really glad, honestly, that each of you have chosen to stay at home today, because the roads weren't great. And that's always a good reason to stay at home. The roads aren't great, you don't have to be here. Not coming in is just perfectly fine. Also, keep in mind that my friend Grace here is manning the chat, so as you have chatty words, you can put them in there, you can speak up. We're gonna just go with the flow and have some fun. So with that in mind, oh, here comes another one. We're up to 7 now. This room is bustling.
The energy.
At least it's
Energy
not
is
hot.
intense.
Now, what you guys don't know is that we do have somebody here with a laugh card, and they just raise it up, we turn on the light, the audience knows they're supposed to laugh. So, you know, if you feel like that's going on, that is absolutely what's going on. So without further ado, let's move into March 5, 2025. How do we do this thing? It doesn't work. Our mission is to build careers worth having, businesses worth owning, lives worth living, experiences worth, what is that thing? What does it even say? There we go.
Oh, you're running
Experiences
two
worth
computers
giving
at once.
and legacies worth leaving. Oh, we got another one. We're up to 8 now, folks. There are still more people on Zoom than there are in the room. So this is for you Zoomers. We're here for you. Our vision to be the real estate company of choice for their agents and their customers. And of course, our values in order. Culture, our priorities are God, family, business, in that order. Integrity, we believe in always doing the right thing. Impact, we strive to give freely of our time and talents to influence lives. And finally, growth, we encourage a strong work ethic. Plus, what is that word? Consistency, systems, models, and tools to achieve results. And we do the hokey pokey and we turn ourselves around. That's what it's all about. With that in mind, I want to talk a little bit about this week's Play of the Week. And this week's Play of the Week is our good friend Sean Bodette. And Sean is absolutely crushing it in his first year as a realtor with the Integrity Home Group. In the span of 7 days, he's put 4 properties under contract, all while balancing his full-time career as a special education teacher, being a dedicated husband and an amazing dad to 3 boys who are competitive swimmers. And I don't know, but sports today, you've got to be in a million places. You can't just be a sports person, tell your kid to get on the bike and go to practice. You've got to be involved and engaged in all of that. So with that, he's had over 20 years of service in education, 15 years of leadership as president or vice president of the Prior Lake Teachers Union, and he's no stranger to hard work, advocacy, and making a difference. He's bringing that same dedication to real estate clients and fighting for their best interests. Sean recently participated in the Polar Plunge, sponsored a team helping to raise thousands of dollars for Special Olympics. A teammate of his was quoted saying, "Sean, your work ethic, dedication, and commitment to serving others is inspiring. Keep up the amazing work." So let's give a big hand to Sean. Let him know we appreciate what he's doing. And of course, I want to remind you, the reason we do this every week is to make sure you know the great quality people that you're surrounding yourselves with by being a member of Keller Williams Preferred Realty. And so we can tell your sphere what you're doing that's great without you having to toot your own horn. Because that's a little weird. If Sean had written that stuff about it, we'd all thought that's a little odd. But we can say it and he can share it, and that's amazing. And that's really the cool point of this thing. So when you know somebody, and all of you do, I promise, when you know somebody who's doing something great, let Jamie know. and he'll be happy to make them play of the week and do some stuff about it. So please, send your stuff to him. He loves having them done. He likes getting them done. He really likes getting the feedback from you guys about who's doing great in the area. Would you agree, Grace?
I would agree.
That's
Good point,
awesome.
Jason.
Thank you. And thank you, Jamie, and thank you, Sean Bodette. Great play of the week. Hey, this is getting crazy.
Oh,
We now have
people.
like 10 or 11 people in here. That's way more.
Can't even keep track.
I can't even do that. And for the new people who are joining us, the red light over there, that's when you laugh. Okay, so when you see the red light, that's when you laugh and giggle. That's the laugh track indicator. So we got that going on. You've got the button, right?
Yeah,
Excellent.
I'm ready to go.
As long as you're ready, that's the important thing. All right, broker update. I've got my friend Melissa coming up, and he's going to replace my friend Grace and say some fun and exciting words.
Briefly, hello. How come there's nothing on the screen?
What do you mean there's nothing on the screen? That's right there. No, you're talking about this.
Okay.
But that was
perfect.
just so we could see you coming.
Ah,
We don't want to trick anybody, have them start reading the stuff before you got here. So watch, Bob and Fawn, don't read if you're at home. Now you can read.
I know, but when I made my slide, I intentionally covered up that picture.
Oh, well, there you go. Who knew?
All right, well, today Jason is going to be talking all about efficiencies using technology. And you guys may have heard the announcement back on Valentine's Day, but you will be thrilled to hear that I have an efficiency for you in command as well. You are no longer required to have me sign a cooperating broker compensation agreement at your listing opportunities when you are following the policy, which means you are paying out zero cooperating compensation. So round of applause,
That's a lot of words. Can you say that again in simpler?
Yeah, well, it's wild to think back to last August, which felt like an eternity ago, but a new form called the Cooperating Broker Compensation Agreement was implemented by the Association of Realtors, and we took it very seriously, and we required that on all of our listings, those that were written before the NAR settlement and those after, were required to fill out a Cooperating Broker Compensation Agreement, even if the cooperating compensation was zero, and you were required to send it to me as the broker. But you don't have to do that anymore.
Wow.
I heard the feedback, no one liked it. However, you do have to still fill it out if for some reason you are offering cooperating compensation. It's an older listing, written on the old paperwork that's been around for a while, if it's a seller who still wants to include that. And if you are receiving cooperating compensation on an offer that you write, you still have to have me sign it. We are not allowing our agents to sign it. You're seeing a lot of other brokerages are allowing their agents to do that. We are not allowing that here.
Excellent. So when I see the requirement there in command, and you got that up on the screen,
Yeah.
and it says conditional,
Yeah.
if you were to hover over that little I button that's next to conditional, it would tell you all of those words, but a lot smaller,
Exactly.
which
Yeah,
is
exactly.
great for people like me.
Yeah,
What else you got for us today, Melissa?
that's it.
That's it?
all.
Well, thanks, Melissa.
Yeah.
Yay! Come on down, please. She's like, why do I have to be up there? It's because you're taller than me. You balance out the camera.
Exactly.
You wouldn't think that, but it turns out it's true. It's really strange. But we've got that going on for us today. Now, it turns out we are on the Grace part. And it
Yes.
looks like Toddy, who's
Yeah.
apparently at home, but it turns out it's Grace.
Yeah, unfortunately I'm not Toddy, but I will do my best to fill in.
Excellent. I'm sure it'll be fantastic. So what do we got ahead on tap for us?
So, for the month of March, we have a bunch of new events and trainings happening. We just had the CE Blitz on Monday and Tuesday, which was really good. So if you're here for that, good for you for knocking that out. Then tomorrow, we have the ABC of Agent Financials taught by Scotty Ringley. This is part 1 of 3 parts in a Financial Essentials series.
3 parts.
Yes.
Excellent.
Yes.
We need that.
Yes, we do. And Scotty will be talking about the ABC of Agent Financials, and a lot of you have been requesting this, so come and support so that we can get a good turnout for the class and the roads will be better. Then the second class in that series will be taught by Tom Wright, and that is commissions and capping.
Don't read that part about Karina, not there.
Karina will be there.
She will be there.
Yes.
Okay.
And she will also be there on the 20th, which will be LLC, what it is, and what I do. So show up for those classes. It'll be super helpful to know that stuff. Hi. Yeah. Go ahead.
In the LLC class, are we
Yeah.
gonna do a live demonstration?
Yes, there will be a live demonstration. Good point.
That's awesome.
So somebody will walk away with an LLC that day.
All you gotta do is show up, get an LLC.
Cool.
Probably gotta pay for it or something though, but. you know,
Yeah, Minnesota
you know,
filing fee.
There you are, just a
Or you
filing
can go to
fee.
an attorney for $2,000, that's fine too.
So I can save $1,850 by saying, showing up and doing it here.
Yes.
Take your time.
Oh, that's
I love it.
Okay, moving forward to the 25th on Tuesday, Melissa Johnson will be teaching a compliance class on marketing, social media, and print products. Again, a lot of you have been requesting this class, so show up and support and be ready to learn some stuff about compliance.
Compliance, like, social media compliance?
Yeah,
Excellent, I like that.
you'll see a slide about it a little bit more later on.
That sounds like fun. We should see that slide.
Working.
All right, there we go.
Okay, here's more about the classes. So you know it's at 12:30 in the training room tomorrow, and then next week, March 13th, it will be 12:30 in the training room.
Scotty, you don't have to hold that pose the entire
I
time.
know, that would be hard to talk the whole time like that.
Lovely. All right, what else we got?
So the region is hosting this leadership training courses with Patrick Woods over at the Hyatt Regency by the Mall of America. Today is the last day to get the pricing for $299. It's early bird pricing, and it will go up tomorrow. So sign up for that using the QR code.
So
Yeah, it was up $50.
that's a
50
pretty,
bucks.
that's a fair chunk to, you know, just to make the decision today, because it's well worth it. Career visioning is super important. And I'd love to have Olivia say a couple words, if she's available, to say a couple words about why people should attend this class, because she says it really well.
Yeah, so, well, first of all, it was one of the top 5 classes that OPs and TLs in the North Central region voted on to bring here because they know their people and they know that their people need it. It's essentially, if you have a team and you want to continue to learn systems and models and be a better leader, you should be there. The first day is how do you find and hire talent? The second day is, okay, well now I've hired talent. What the heck do I do with them? How do I hold them accountable to my the expectations of the team? So it's the third, they teach you how to set expectations for 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. And then it's like, wow, okay, I've hired them, now I have these expectations. How do I succeed through them? Not around them, through them. So the second day is 30, 60, 90 course in the morning, and then the afternoon is success through others. So if you have a team and you haven't taken career visioning in quite a while, you might want to attend.
And if you have a team and you have taken recently, it's always a great idea to attend again to get new nuggets, because you're a
That's
different person and it's a different river.
That's right.
Pow, look at that. You're moving forward.
Okay, and then this is our 3rd month for the for the KWPR Supper Club. We'll be doing it at North Star Tavern in Bloomington. Please reach out to Misha if you want to join us so that we can make sure we have enough seats for everyone. That's on March 20th at 6 p.m.
And they will provide the glasses. You don't need to bring them.
Yeah. And then this is more about the compliance class taught by Melissa. Discover the do's and don'ts of promoting your listings, yourself, and your business while staying on the right side of regulations on March 25th at 1:30 here in the training room.
So after I go to that class, I'll know what I need to put on those things so I don't get in trouble.
Yep, all the branding that you need possible. Okay, March Madness. I bet everyone's really excited about this. This is actually coming from Culture Committee. I don't know if Jen or Lisa are on here, but Jen Schlake and Lisa Brainer are the heads of our Culture Committee, and they are putting on a bracket pool for the office. It's a $10 entry, and you'll learn more info as we get closer to Selection Sunday on the 16th. If you want to be a part of putting these events on every month, like the Valentine's one we did last month, reach out to Jen or Lisa, and you can help out with this. And it's a super exciting time to help out with all the events.
Absolutely. So Selection Sunday is March 16th.
Yes.
And if you're not familiar with the bracket, that's the day they fill it out. So then you'll join up, you'll pick who you think is going to win. I'm going to give you a personal piece of advice as somebody who is a college basketball semi-fan. Put your money on Purdue to make it to the Sweet 16, but do not extend them beyond that. Anything that happens beyond that is not going to happen. Don't believe it. Last year was a complete anomaly, but they will make it to the Sweet 16. Take it to the bank.
Is that where you went to college?
That is where I went to college, and that's how I know. 40 years
What
of
is a
this.
Boilermaker?
You know, it's funny, they were gonna be called the pumpkin shuckers, but it turns out that Boilermakers sounded a little bit, but in the train, they used to hammer out that big round part of the front of the steam engines. They looked like people who did that because they were straight off the farm.
Just seemed like an aggressive thing to call yourselves now.
It is, that's why that guy carries that hammer with him all the time. He's out
Oh.
there busy banging boilers out.
Interesting.
All right, we got our good friends, Brian and Drake, and while they're coming up, I have a video to play for them, so we're gonna play that video, and then we're gonna
Wait,
get
we
to.
need you to hold off on the
Oh,
video.
we're gonna wait on the video.
I don't know where we're here.
I don't really know, but the camera's right here, so you can just turn around and block us, that would be perfect. You're blocking me, you gotta come over a little bit more, Drake,
Yep,
keep going,
perfect.
a little bit more, a little bit more, get closer like you guys are friends.
There you go.
There you go, you're winning the game now.
All right, so we're gonna be playing a video game.
Wait,
Oh,
I'll
you got
start.
something? All right.
So, because it looks like we're heading into multiple offer situations again, we wanted to talk about our NAF cash program. Basically, cash is king, we all know that, but it's a way for your buyers to make cash offers without having the cash on hand, all right? So, and maybe even more important for agents is you don't have to make contingent offers, all right? And those just aren't working. They haven't been working forever, and it's tough to get those through. So we're gonna play a quick video for you, but for newer agents, not many here, but hopefully online. In a nutshell, we're helping let's say you've got a seller, you're selling their house, there's solid equity in their home. But they can't afford to have the current mortgage and buy a new house and afford both mortgages together. All right, if they can do that, we have our recast program, which would be the ticket for them. But if they can't afford that, then they could use our NAF cash program, purchase the home for cash, and then when you do sell their home 2 months later, they take those funds, the proceeds from that sale, and buy the house back from NAF cash.
And we're gonna be playing a quick video here for you guys. It's geared towards your customers, but it'll give you a good overview of, what the program entails and how it's helpful. And we'll touch on questions after, so we'll play it now.
Will be overwhelming. We understand that not everyone has the resources to make a cash offer, and that's where NAF Cash comes in. NAF Cash provides the home buyer the resources to bid with confidence by bidding with cash. We purchase your new home with our cash, and once you secure financing, we sell it back to you at the original purchase price plus the service fee. It's that simple. Making a cash offer increases your chances of landing that perfect home without having to worry about selling your current home first. NAF Cash charges a service fee, which will either be a percentage of the purchase price of the new home or a flat fee based on the purchase price of the new home and the state in which the new home is located. The service fee is added to the purchase price of the new home. As the buyer, you will be required to put down an earnest money deposit, or EMD, based off of your purchase price. You will also be responsible for HOA, rent back, and utilities payments. An evaluation is conducted to determine any potential appraisal gap. If you offer more than the appraised value of the new home, you will have the choice to add the difference between the appraisal value and the purchase price to cover what's known as the appraisal gap. And really, that's it. You could potentially save thousands of dollars by buying your new home with cash. NAF Cash. Get your offer accepted and enjoy the flexibility of selling your current home on your own timeline. NAF Cash, your key to unlocking the door to your dream home.
That was fancy, dudes. Did you make that video?
Yeah, this morning.
Awesome.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, basically, this is, we have 45-minute training sessions that we'll have available to anybody that wants to learn more about the program. We get into the nuts and bolts about, everything involving the program and why it's beneficial. And in fact, it's mandatory for you to take this class if you want to use it for your clients. So they have it every single day, and I will be posting the training link in the closed Facebook group for you guys. So if anybody wants to learn more about it and wants to get certified for it, you'll have access to that in the Facebook group. Or reach out to us and we'll be sure to send that over to you guys too.
And they're also sponsoring the cereal bar this month.
Oh, thank
So thanks, guys.
Oh, yeah.
So for the 4 of you today that are here, cereal is lunch.
But we actually have good cereal this month.
Oh.
No corn syrup.
yeah.
None of that other stuff. Well, thank you, gentlemen. Good seeing you. Anybody got any questions?
What's a general fee, like percentage wise in Minnesota? Like 1.5% of purchase price, or what is
No,
your?
it actually,
It just changed, so it's now 2.3% of the purchase price, which can be rolled into it, so.
Okay, so if you buy at 500 and appraises 500, they can finance that 2.3% fee on top of it into the loan, or do they have to pay that out of pocket?
Yep, as long as it's appraises at that amount.
it would need to appraise at the higher figure with it rolled in.
Oh, okay,
wow.
so you can't.
But that would be what the purchase price would be at, and so the appraiser is basing it on the higher purchase price.
Also, your purchase price that you write should include that fee that
Yep.
you.
Yep.
Okay.
But if it does appraise at 500, yep, then they're gonna have to pay the cap.
And we're seeing it appraise pretty much.
All my appraisals are coming in higher, I have no idea what's happening.
That's great.
Alright?
All right,
Thank you.
thanks, guys.
Nothing from Zoom. All right, next up
Nowadays, home
is
buyers face
another
a lot of
version of that
challenges,
video.
from
Yeah, we don't want that. We've already
Encore.
seen that one. All right, I'm having my good friend Olivia come up and talk a little bit about what's going on. And as we know, she always talks from the heart. So it's great to have her up here saying good things.
This is kind of fun, a different setup. How many people do we have on? 31. So we have 10 or 12
Double.
that braved the storm, and husbands or wives got up and snow blowed the driveway early, and those of you at home, it's nice to see you as well. God, this is weird. So I'm gonna talk to you all, right?
Yeah, they're right there.
Oh, hi.
They're right there.
Okay, good.
They're in the little,
Like all 30,
circle.
like all 31 of them.
They're hiding up in there.
Yeah, okay, so, you probably, heard the announcement by now. Great news that Gary Keller has partnered with Stone Point Capital. The announcement came out, Monday, and then I forwarded that email just in case you didn't get it. And everything I'm hearing thus far is amazing news. We're gonna meet the new president and CEO, Chris Kokowski, at 12 o'clock today. There's actually a KWRI town hall going on right now, 11 to 12, to just discuss more. But I wrote down a couple talking points just in case there's some additional questions. I think KW's been number one at the top for years, right? We have the Triple Crown, is what it's called. Number one in agent count, number one in volume, and number one in closings. And I think we've done that without the capital resources, and now with the capital resources that Stone Point brings, I'm freaking excited to see where we can go, right? Real estate landscape has changed so much in the last couple of years. Look at what, 200 million in lawsuits that Gary paid out last year alone, right? Mo Anderson, who really was the heart of the company when it started and kind of revamped in 1987. Most of us know Mo. She wants to retire, and so she should.
It's time.
God bless
you want to do
all of
that.
us if we're still working, somewhat working at the age of 87, 88, like Mo is.
You will not see me doing that.
No,
Ain't got time for that.
no.
Nobody got time.
No, absolutely not. I love that video, by the way, of that lady. In order for her to be able to fully retire and, Gary to pay her what she's owed, and I have heard that is a very large number, and so it should be, right? 350 million plus. He needs those resources, right? And so, a couple talking points, Stone Point Capital, leading investment management firm, deep into, with real estate expertise. They invest in companies to grow them, not to fix them. There's nothing that needs to be fixed with Keller Williams, right? Like, you wanna see behind the curtain, I've got to see behind the curtain in the last 7-8 months. There's not a ton to fix. Might be little things, just with command and whatnot, but nothing major. Stone Point Capital comes in to grow companies and grow them big, not to fix them.
Through an acquisition or?
Both,
Everything.
both, yeah, they, and Colin and Jason have been involved in a lot of these calls too, so if I miss anything, let me know. They own Core, Logic and Lone Wolf, right, and just with those two alone, along with what the other ones that they own, it's Colin, was it number 9 billion?
I don't remember.
I think it was 9 billion and,
It was significant regardless.
Yeah,
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 right.
it's huge.
Right. So a couple thoughts on the CEO, Chris. Again, I'll learn more today. He's got 20 plus years of experience in real estate. One thing that I really love is 14 years of experience running a family-owned company as well. So first thing that he mentioned when they introduced him on the Monday call is the best thing about Keller Williams is the culture, and he's very excited to get in and be a part of it. And so I'm just excited, I really am. I think that, Gary has looked at different options and different companies over the last couple of years, right? There for a while, was talking about going public. And quite frankly, I'm really excited that he decided to go, remain private. And to my knowledge, he still is the largest stakeholder in the company. And again, there's not a lot from my perspective that I know thus far, and I'm talking to you guys too, but I'm looking at the people in front of us, that's gonna change for agents, right? Like, there hasn't been a lot that, if anything, that's changing. Go out, take another listing, keep doing business as usual. We've been told nothing as of now is gonna change for the agents. And even in the future, I don't think it's gonna change. It's business as usual for all of us, including me at the regional level, right? We're gonna say.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, and maybe the biggest change, the integration between Keller, which is the doing part of the real estate world, and CoreLogic, which is the data part of the real estate world. We're gonna have access potentially to data that nobody else has. I mean, in my mind, it's such a perfect fit between the two entities. So what does that look like? I don't know, but I'm guessing we're probably going to have a leg up on figuring out where the warm sellers and the warm buyers are, rather than having to go out cold all the time, because we're gonna have the data.
Well, that was
Gary's talked about that all the time.
Yeah.
Who has the data? Well,
And that was something that they were already working on, right? Like there's the data for the market centers through a system called Heat Seeker that tells us the list of the most likely recruits to change companies. And for 6 months or maybe a year now, correct me if I'm wrong if you know more, they were already working on that. So with your database in command and AI integration, they will tell you who's most likely to sell or buy next based on that data. So maybe that will further along that project that they were already
Sure, so
working.
have access to more stuff
Right,
about the individuals
right,
to better build better models.
right.
Because at the end of the day, if you launch that model and it doesn't work as well as you want it to, you're gonna leave it alone.
Yeah.
We learned that with Command, by the way. And then we'll have to work really hard to get you back into it. So when we launch that, we want it to launch correctly. We want you to be able to have that experience and make it work right and have confidence when you're making those calls that it's gonna be the right thing. And that's a huge part of it. And to make that work, you need data.
Yeah.
Data is what predicts the behaviors.
So I think it's great. I have no reason to believe anything different from the different calls and things that I've been on. I'm sure that will continue, but for now it's business as usual. Shifting gears real quick, if I might, for the ALC members in the room and leadership, I have 3 good candidates for the team leader role.
1, 2, 3.
You can count.
I can only count to 4.
He can
Well, it's a
also
good thing I
jingle,
don't
so
have
he
5.
might have to have to decide.
It's been a little dry, right? I've been looking on the hunt since June of last year. I had one candidate late last fall that I really liked. He turned me down. That's cool. Still working on getting him over here from Coldwell Banker just as an agent, right? And I turned quite a few folks down since June of last year, and now all of a sudden to have 3 really good candidates, that's exciting. So when I go on vacation next week, I'm probably gonna put the ALC and the leadership team to work to do group interviews with potentially all 3, maybe just 2. We'll see how the last interview goes this afternoon. But just wanted to give you an update on that. I think we're really gonna be close. We're just gonna be just great.
Anybody got any questions? About the Zoom people? And I asked that because yesterday I was asked by an agent at another company, and this was the big question that they had. They wanted to know if this was putting us on the roadmap to being public.
No, there's been 0 sign of that.
I think it's a common
I
question.
don't have a
agree.
crystal ball, but
There's no
there's
reason
been
to
no
if
mention.
you have the investment of
No
this
reason
company.
to. You're exactly right.
And that's my feeling as well, but
Yeah.
I just know that's one of those questions that's out there, or you see it in the Facebook groups or whatever.
Oh,
and-
yeah, just
And that's
those
just a
Facebook groups are
trashy
some-
community to
Yeah.
get that stuff anyway, but just good to know that that's not, that's gonna be part of the deal.
I'm saying hi to the people on Zoom.
There you go.
Via-
That's a good
via
plan.
chat.
That's
Okay.
the right thing.
Keep me
Well, thanks,
posted if
Lloyd.
you have any questions, otherwise business as usual.
We got that going for us. All right, my good friend Grace is coming back up. And we're gonna talk a little bit about Gemini. Gemini, what is Gemini? What is Gemini and what it does? And so the first thing I wanna do is just talk about what is Gemini Advanced. I had a person come in here today and go, I don't even use command, what the hell is Gemini?
That's exactly what he sounded like.
Pretty much exactly to the T. Well, Gemini Advanced is a lot like ChatGPT, but it's run by Google. And Gemini Advanced gives you access to Gemini's most capable AI models, including its newest Model 2.0 Pro, Sheldon Spencer. One of the things it does allow is deep research to quickly get comprehensive reports. You can upload up to 1,500 pages of books and reports. Boy, that sounds like fun. What are you doing today? I'm uploading books. Start with Tale of Two Cities. Create and use custom AI experts for any topic. Upload your code repository to code faster and smarter. So if you thought to yourself, man, I can't wait to write a new program, this is real. You can make your computer write the program for itself. Why you're doing that as a real estate agent, I gotta be honest with you, find something better to do with your time. 2 terabytes of storage from Google. One, if you're already in, with your KW access to email, you have an unlimited Google Drive already, just at your KW email address, which is fantastic. It's a great place to store stuff, and it's free as a KW agent. But this gives you additional storage from Google One, and Gemini works in Gmail, Docs, and more. And we're gonna show you a little bit about that today, because I think to me, we all kind of have a sense of ChatGPT and what that does, so we'll explore that interface a little bit. But the real thing that I think is really cool is how it integrates with Docs, email, Sheets, and things like that. And that's kind of what I really want to go and dig into today. Good news, it's normally $19.99 a month, but it's free for you as a Keller Williams agent. So that's a huge thing. Your tech stack that you already pay for tech, that $19.99, no increase in your fee. That's why we've had some in the past to allow us to get into these kinds of spaces and feel comfortable with it, but it's automatically rolled right in, no extra cost to you, so you get to use it as though you were paying. That's $240 a year by my math. That's a good deal. I like good deals. And with that in mind, let's do it.
Woohoo!
That sounds good. That sounds good and all. So we're gonna stop this thing, we're gonna get out of the screenshots, we're gonna close up the Zoom, and we're gonna jump into Gemini. So this is Gemini Advanced. You're saying to yourself, where do I find that, boss? Here's some things that are important if you're not super familiar with Google, but if you're using Chrome, and I recommend it, up here in the top right, this is the identity that you are presenting to Google, up here in this top circle. So you want this identity to be your Keller Williams address. You're saying, how do I know? Well, if you look at it, and I'm gonna show you, I actually have my KWPRMN address, but it'll tell you what address that is. If you have a different email address, like in my case, I have one at kellyarvison.com, it will not directly log you into Gemini Advanced. This is who you're telling Google you are. You can tell it you're a lot of different people, as long as you can sign into your email. But this is important to get that in there. If that is a question for you, you have more questions about that, feel free to reach out to me. We'd love to go over it, probably 10 minutes on Zoom or less to help you figure that out. But this is your key to getting into Gemini Advanced. Where you'll find Gemini Advanced is in this 9-dot button here called Google Apps. And you go down there, you'll find a button that says Gemini. This will work just like ChatGPT if you've been there. If you click on that, it's gonna open up a window just like this. Super dark. That guy put it on the dark screen. What's up with that? But you can type basically anything into this prompt and get a response. And you might do something like this, and Grace and I are gonna try this out, but give Grace and I some jokes to tell at our presentation. Does some thinking. Grace, wow. That one's probably the top one. I like the first one best, right? I've been on
Yeah.
a diet for a week and all I've lost is 7 days.
You didn't hit the laugh track.
Oh, sorry,
Grace,
I
maybe-
lost the button.
Maybe-
It just wasn't that funny.
All right, you try one, Grace, and then we'll move on to something else as an idea. Here, Grace-specific jokes.
Oh, perfect. If Grace is very organized, Grace is so organized, she alphabetizes her spices and then color codes them.
Wow. All right, so what we don't want to do is jokes, but you could do absolutely something like this. And you've probably tinkered with things like this in the past, but you can go write me a presentation to give to my real estate clients as a first-time home buyer seminar. So, it's gonna go ahead and literally write out that home buyer seminar for you. What you should do, what you're gonna cover, all these various things, even gives you timing and spacing to put those things in there. Which I think is super valuable, because any one of these things, we can actually ask it to expand on. So understanding the current market, we will give you a brief overview of the current real estate market and what that means to you as a buyer. Can you give me, and you can use any of these options to continue to drill down in the system, can you give me a brief overview of the current real estate market in Lakeville, Minnesota? By the way, this is all live, I don't know what's gonna come out, but I bet it's gonna be fine. In Lakeville, Minnesota, as mentioned in section 4. Now that's some pretty fine, I mean, right now, Scotty, has Lakeville seen an increase in home values,
Yes,
year-over-year growth?
yes,
There is a significant difference between the median list price and median sold prices?
yes.
Number of days on home is fluctuating, it's important to be aware of current days on market, so we don't have Steve here. And I'll tell you what, you get the raw report, the best thing you do is take the raw report, all the words that Steve writes, and literally put it in here and say, summarize what Steve said so that English people, normal people can read it.
Yeah.
Because I'm a normal guy, Steve speaks in real estate, and somewhere in between there's a language that we can get to, and that's a great thing to do here for that kind of thing. Sales are both above and below, new construction homes are strong part of the Lakeville market, absolutely. Lakeville's desirable area reflected in its real estate market and so on and so forth. So right off the bat, you want to give a presentation, this is helping you develop that presentation in minutes rather than hours. And it's helping you focus on the right things, which is super important. Grace, what's something you use?
Well, I have a question for you, actually.
I like questions.
Pam on Zoom
Pam,
asked, could you just copy that in and then tweak it as needed rather than typing it all in?
Copy it in. From where would I copy it?
Probably your doc, that like your prompt.
Oh, yes,
And tweak
she's
it.
literally going like this. If I could do this, yes, she's smarter than me. Command, and then say, give me some points about. Did we nail that one for Pam? Pam, does that answer the question?
Do you want to hear a poem about you as well? Mikey had to write a
Oh,
poem for you.
let's do that.
Okay, I'll read dramatic reading. Okay. With screens alight and spirit keen, Jason, our tech guru, is seen. From glitches deep, solutions to keep. Keller Williams' smooth digital scene. Wow. So it can't do jokes, but it can do
It
poems.
does poems way better. Thank you, Mikey, for that little piece. But here's why all sorts of great stuff about Lakeville. And again, the point of this is you used to spend hours creating content. Instead, I can go here and save me the trouble of that sort of stuff. So we all know, and we've probably seen listing descriptions, for example, that we might use and use ChatGPT to create a listing description, and then we tweak it a little bit, and that's fine. And that's very, very cursory example of something that you can do. But if we jump over into my Gmail, you'll see I've got all these things here, a number of emails. I got one from Misha, Karina, me. All right, this is too much for me to read. I don't know if you know about me, but I'm not a huge fan of reading every word in the email. And Olivia will tell you that is 100% true. I read the top lines and maybe a few more after that, but I'm gonna go with this, and I'm just gonna ask it to summarize my unread emails. It's gonna do some thinking. And you get to this Gemini thing by this prompt up here on the top right while it's doing the thinking, but that's how it'll ask there. So here's what we've got. Misha wants to meet before today's meeting to discuss questions and concerns, to recap tomorrow's plan for the strategy. Karina sent an email about my appointment today at 3:30 to discuss bids on internet and soundproofing. HHG printer has been changed to tomorrow, and a network tech will be sent to help with that. Melissa requested to schedule time to work on the internal do not call. Look at that. I don't have to read these emails. That's a win. Now, that's crazy, but it's also cool, because how many times do you actually have that list of things? Maybe you're coming back from a vacation. Maybe you just had a long weekend. Maybe you just got a lot of emails. Literally, now I can go back and go, okay, Grace is out of the office with limited access to email until Monday. All right, I don't need to open that email anymore. I don't need to go in and read it. On the other hand, I don't know what this thing from Melissa is, where she's talking about scheduling time to work, so I know I need to read that one in more depth. And this just gives me time back. It makes it better for me and easier for me to access this whole set of things. Now, I really am the kind of guy, and Melissa's meeting sounds really important, but I'm not necessarily that interested in it, right? An email to Melissa.
You should be.
Telling her I won't be making that appointment. Be professional, because Melissa is really nice. Right, more thinking, and again, the advantage of this is I don't have to go into the chat mode. This is literally in my email box. I don't have to jump back and forth. Hey Melissa, I wanted to let you know I won't be able to make our meeting scheduled appointment today. Something unexpected came up that requires my immediate attention. Apologize for any inconvenience this may cause. I'll reach out soon to reschedule. Thanks for your understanding. Right, boom, ready to go. I can copy this right here, insert. There we are, ready to go. It's out there, and I just need to make sure I address it correctly. How nice is that from a step process? Wow, I don't have to go in and do all the extra stuff. What do you think, Grace? Can you see yourself using that?
Oh, for sure, I used it for you this morning.
Actually, oddly enough, I'm not gonna kid you, all of these unread emails were created by people I asked to send me emails using this. So the whole bit is, it's created itself, which, just like this earlier presentation, I actually asked Gemini yesterday how I was gonna do this presentation, and this is what we're doing today. So we're already on the part, but I feel like you got something going on there. Do you? No.
No, just a thank you.
Oh, cool.
Yes.
It did work for Pam, so we got that going on. So now we want to take a quick look at the same thing, same idea in Docs. So I can go into Google Docs, create a document in Google Docs, and if I use that Gemini button, it can do this right here for me. I can go right into Gemini and say, create an outline. Let's go with create an outline for a response to a client that isn't ready to sell their home because of high interest rates. Anybody have that problem?
No.
So while it does some thinking, it's finding some documents, looking through some stuff, creating some outstanding items for us. Grace,
Yeah.
why did the pirate go to the movie?
Oh boy, I'm really bad at these. I
Really?
don't know, why don't you tell me?
Because it was rated R.
That's good.
Why did they charge him $2 to get in?
Oh, I don't know.
They charged him $1 a year.
Oh,
All right,
go to Jason instead of ChatGPT for
for good jokes.
Yeah.
So here's an outline of the response, right? I want to acknowledge and validate concerns. Start by acknowledging the client's concern about high interest rates and their impact on the housing market. Emphasize these concerns are valid. All right, so this is the outline. And that's what happens when you ask it for an outline. It's going to give you an outline. How about example sentences based on the outline? Colin, if I said this on your call, would I be able to move forward? I understand your hesitation about selling your home with the current interest rates. And they do fluctuate. While they are higher now, they've been much higher in the past. Would that be something I could say?
That's accurate.
Even with higher interest rates, there are still many motivated buyers in the market actively looking for homes. A strategic pricing approach and effective marketing can help attract the right buyers to your property. I'm here to support you and answer any questions you have as you make this important decision.
It's a good start, we can do better.
Yep, absolutely. And that's the whole point of this. This is a great jumping off point to get your ideas flowing. And typically, when I sit with anybody, that's the part where we struggle. It's not making it better. Because I mean, immediately, each of you are looking at this, thinking about it in your language and already tweaking that. It's the starting that's hard. And what this does, it provides that I'm gonna get up over the hump part of the business so that I can get moving on to better things. Create a dialogue for me between myself and this client. So, now that we know that we charged him $1 an ear,
Oh, gosh.
why is it so addicting to be a pirate?
Oh, I don't know.
Once you lose a hand, you're hooked. Yar, that's pretty funny. And finally, I know you're gonna get this,
Okay.
Grace. We're setting you up, you've learned, you've seen the
Lot of
jokes,
pressure,
you feel like
okay.
it's coming. What's Pirate's favorite letter?
R.
You know, you'd think so, but actually they love the C.
Good one.
Good stuff.
Hi, Jason, thanks for coming in today. I want to chat about your thoughts on selling your home. I know we've discussed this a few times. I want to make sure I understand your current perspective, especially on changes in interest rates. Yeah, thanks for seeing me. Seem a little hesitant. These interest rates are pretty high, and I'm worried about how it's affecting the market and what I'll get. Completely understand that concern. It's a very valid one. Many homeowners are feeling the same way right now. It's definitely a factor we need to consider, right? So it's going through and giving me this dialogue. And one of the things that Jamie talks a lot about, I think is really important, is both practice, which we do on Colin's call on Tuesdays in the morning. It's great to be part of that call. Practicing that is super important, but this helps us create the vision as well in our own mind and kind of work through this when we aren't able to make the Tuesday call, or we're talking about a little different. So the other thing that I can do is, as I read through this, I can actually do and put in different responses as well. I can change the computer's response. How would you respond differently if the client said, also, if the client doesn't have a lot of equity? That could be a thing, not these days, but at any rate, it's an idea, and you can continue to work on this and at least prompt your own ideas on how to respond to those questions and things. And of course, once they're done, I can take this and literally copy it right into there by hitting that little arrow. It's gonna take that whole dialogue and move it right into there so I can see it, touch it, feel it a little bit better. And the same thing can happen with any of your email responses to a client. You can send an email response to a client, throw the question in there, get your juices flowing, figure it out, and then tailor it to the response that makes sense. And when we talk about that, the most important thing that you can always do is make sure you read it after you do it. Don't just fire it out. And do some thinking about whether that's the right thing to say or not. But that's the whole point, not to do the work for you, but to get it started for you. Some of it will absolutely do the work for you. Melissa, you got a question?
So the arrow means draft an email. The
This
little,
arrow takes whatever is in this box, the response, and
Yeah.
puts it into the document.
the paper probably means
just a
like
straight
copy
copy,
that so
yeah.
you can put it somewhere else, retry. What does the eyeball mean?
What does the preview the answer, right? What does it look like in a little preview pane? So that's
Okay.
nice.
And then what about the magnifying?
Retry with Google search. So it'll go out to the web and try and find some other sorts of things. And if you want to train it, like you say, well, that isn't the way I don't want to see it like that, or that's not the way I want to have that, you can tell, that was a bad suggestion, try again. Or you can ask it to show more stuff.
Huh.
So I'm writing a newsletter, and I want to write a newsletter about what is currently going on in Lakeville, Minnesota for a real estate newsletter. It'll do some thinking and come up with some ideas for us there. But my favorite thing, and we're gonna get that in just a second, is something that Grace and I were working on just a second ago. But you can imagine as you continue to go through this, getting better and better ideas, using this for your newsletters, so that you don't have to spend an hour creating this document that 20% of the people you send it to will read. And the funny thing is that once you And again, here's all the ideas that I can possibly have or need to write a newsletter. And I can go through example of the script. It goes through and actually creates the example for us. You can also get that from RPR, which is a great thing. But I don't have to spend all the time. And so my point about Grace and what we were doing this the other day is we want to drive up the open rates on our newsletters. But more importantly, if we really want to follow our newsletters, we can jump over to Excel. And if we really want to know how this is working, we want to track this. We want to do the work and make sure that we understand what we're doing and how it turns out. So I'm going to have it create a spreadsheet that for a real estate marketing person that tracks results of the newsletters I've created for different clients. And it's going to do some thinking, it does some stuff. While we're doing that, anybody got any questions or ideas so far? Oh my God, look at that. It literally created that. Date sent, open rate, click-through rate, leads generated, conversions, revenue. I don't know how fast you can create a spreadsheet. I can create one fairly quickly, but this one does it super fast. Now, maybe I don't like column F. I can literally just go in there and delete that if I want. Yeah, no, I just want to delete the thing. But my point is, yeah, I'm going to close that one there and close it all out. Or I can create a formula that creates the average open rate. This is going to help me drive through the entire process of creating a spreadsheet. And if you've ever really tinkered with spreadsheets, and I'm looking right at Scotty, being able to ask how to create formulas is fantastic. If you don't know how to create formulas, it is not an easy thing, but this will create the spreadsheet for you. It'll create the formulas. All you have to do then is start inputting the data. And that we can all look at this and know that this is not the end of this process. We are still in the train that's just leaving the station. So right now I can create a spreadsheet. It will not be long before most of the rest of the stuff is going to come through there, where I'm actually just importing or pulling it directly from other sources, and it's going to create the data, or it's going to create a spreadsheet and pull the data in. And when you have a spreadsheet, and I'll go back to that one there, let's throw that back in there. Analyze the trends in the spreadsheet you created. Now, of course, this created all kinds of false stuff. We'd hopefully have real data in there before we asked it to analyze the fake data it created. But it's putting that data in there so you know what to put in there. It's going to come up with some ideas on what we can do with the information that it has. And that is a benefit of Gemini. It's much stronger than ChatGPT. I mean, I don't even know, you have to get additional programs to chat to link them in there. Here's what it talks about, date sent, leads, conversions, and revenue over time, open rate and click rate over time. Here's the data, shows the following trends. The average number of leads generated is 5.8 per campaign with an average of 1.8 conversions. Now, I don't know about you, but this is the kind of stuff that I want my computer to do for me. I don't want to do this stuff. I want it to take a graph or a thing like that and tell me what I'm seeing. Now, of course, I take that and then I want to make sure I verify a couple parts there, but this makes my life way more easy with anything like this. And the campaigns have showed mixed results. Grace, what's up with that? I know you're over 50% open rate, but these campaigns are not.
Yeah.
They show a mixed result. So if you want to get better than mixed results, talk to Grace. She'll help you make your newsletter, which is super important. But this tells me exactly what I want to do. So I could actually, I haven't done it yet, but I'm going to tinker with Steve Rawls' Rawl report, and I'm going to put it in there, and I'm going to ask it to analyze the Rawl report for me, which is going to make Steve really sad. So that's why I haven't done it, because he likes that part. But that's the exact kind of thing that you can do with this. You can put in all the houses in your area, or if you have a geographic farm that you use, and any houses that are sold in there, you can use that to compare the sales rates, the prices, things like that. If you put all the data in there, of course, any analysis is only as good as the data you put in, but it's gonna give you a market summary for you if you keep that information in place. There are so many elements to this, and the only challenge right now is our creativity. When I say our creativity, I don't know what the right answers are for these kind of things, so sometimes I go, create 10 prompts that a high-level real estate agent might use to make the best, let's go with to improve their business. Using Gemini. Analyze current market trends in Lakeville, create a personalized email campaign focusing on nurturing. I'll tell you what, if I write a smart plan, 90% of that smart plan is coming through Gemini right now. Develop a comprehensive social media content calendar for the next month, targeting first-time home buyers. It's gonna pull the stuff for you. Draft a compelling script for a video tour of luxury property. Generate a list of potential opportunities with local businesses, such as an interior. I mean, these are the sorts of things that sometimes you actually just get to ask the computer, what should I ask you? What else am I not asking you that I should be? And this is giving us that list. Create a coaching plan for me to improve my script skills. This does all kinds of fantastic stuff for me, and whether you're starting out with a team right now and trying to build a team and you need some ideas on how to train them or what to train them on, this can provide that information for you. And the crazy thing about all this stuff is we know that AI, we're just starting to scratch the surface of this. And the thing I've said before, and I think there are two important parts when it comes to AI. Number one, AI will not take your job, but someone using it will. Because I can get way more done than somebody who's not using this, just by using it. And the second thing that is super important to understand about AI is what we don't know about what it's going to do is the crazy part. We are at the part of the process, like I said, where the train is already moving and it's leaving the station. And if you try and catch up to this trend 5 years from now, you're not gonna make it. If you start now and start learning it and using it on a regular basis, you'll be better prepared as the changes that come to it come out there. You're not gonna stop this. You're not gonna eliminate this. You can't bury your head in the sand and pretend like it doesn't exist unless you've got 2 or 3 years left in your business. But if you've got any amount of time in your business, you need to be part of this. You need to be understanding it and using it so that as it continues to change, you're better able to understand the changes that are coming. What questions do you have that I can answer for, what questions do you have that Gemini can answer for you today?
I'm just really glad I came to this meeting.
Lisa Regan asked, how does this compare to Copilot? Does it have more advanced capabilities?
How does Gemini compare, it's a really good question.
Yeah.
And
To Copilot.
to Copilot, which is Microsoft's answer.
Okay, does
Does
it
it?
have more advanced capabilities?
Oh, do we wanna know the answer?
Strengths, excels in processing and understanding complex textual information, strong in natural language processing, enabling in-depth analysis, designed to leverage Google's vast knowledge base and search capabilities, strong in semantic processing, combining things, focus, emphasis on that. Copilot, deeply integrated into 365, right? If I wanna pay money to Microsoft, then Copilot's gonna be a much better deal for you because you're already paying the money. Paying them more money is a great idea. Sorry, that was rude. That really was rude. That was a cheap shot at Microsoft. Leverages OpenAI's ChatGPT. We know ChatGPT, just a little bit different thing. Is this Ford or Chevy? At the end of the day, the answer, when you look at this, is If you drive a Ford, you absolutely know that Chevy is a piece of trash, and if you drive Chevy, you absolutely know that Ford is a piece of trash, and yet both of them are on the road at the same time. So one of them, all of them have to be wrong. They both exist, they both continue to sell cars and trucks. But the main thing between the two is that basically you are using, who you're using and who your provider is, and whether you use Microsoft or Google. And as a free option, this is far better than having to pay for Microsoft. And the only thing I've ever recommended that you use Microsoft for is if you're doing database merging, but there are a lot of fantastic programs that you can just get at, that you can build into Google Sheets that'll do it for you. I say database merging if you're sending golden letters, for example. There's some workarounds that make that really strong. But as they point out, if your workarounds are on Microsoft 365, you've got an advantage. If you are interested, however, in information processing, complex analysis, insights, Gemini is the right answer.
Is there a Gemini button in Command?
No,
Oh, okay,
no, this is not a command product. This is a Google product.
got it.
So I'm glad I came to this meeting. I just downloaded the app. And I have a call after this to talk with the seller because he's very strong thinking that homes.com is the reason his home isn't selling because we're not projecting on that. So I just asked to create talking points for real estate agent to share with the seller as to why homes.com is not a strong source for selling their home. And I came up with a ton of stuff that I'm gonna utilize right after this. So
Awesome.
Good.
that's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Create a graphic for my newsletter, right? And I'm a big believer in creating graphics
Totally.
featuring a house
Yeah.
and what else needs to be in there, Grace? A key and a pirate. So it uses Imagen. There are other different sorts of images that are available out there, or image generators out there. But typically, if like you're doing a social media post and you just want to have a picture, because we know that social media posts that are just words, no one reads, God bless you. There we go. And I don't know about those words. They don't need the words on there. So I'm just going to trim this up and get rid of that. But yeah, I could send it. I could absolutely put this on my Facebook page, have Steve Rawls' summary of what's going on in the market center, and people are going to like that. And so again, this is about making your work simpler. It's not doing the work for you, unless you're trying to create images. But reviewing it, checking it, doing that kind of stuff is what really drives it. And Ryan's point is exactly what makes this useful, right? I don't know off the top of my head how to do it. You're not going to read that. You're not going to sit in that meeting with them and read it, are you? No, but you now have, your mind is now buzzing about what you can say based on that. All it did was jump you into the place. And if you were competing with another agent who didn't have that tool and got the same question at the same amount of time, who's going to win?
Yeah.
Likely you, because you've now had a process, a thought process, a way to do this, and that's my point. AI is not going to take your job, but someone using it will. And Ryan is that guy using AI. So thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Appreciate you coming. Hope this experiment was fun. Brian, any questions?
And this circles back to the beginning of the meeting, but when do we get the funny stories?
All right.
All right, Gemini, here we go.
Yo, Gemini, give us some
Make a
funny
funny
stories.
story about this graphic.
All right, thanks, everybody. Appreciate you coming out this time. We'll see you next time here on The Feud.
That was good. What else are you having?
Are all of those images that they create unlicensed, so you have the ability to use them anywhere?
Yeah.
That took 4 months to sell.
Yes.
Yeah, and if you're an artist,
Yeah. And
you are
it's-
absolutely
so it's-
enraged about that.
Yeah, it's been a
And
limited
thankfully,
showing time. You got kids.
when I said
Yeah,
AI
that's
is
not
gonna take
bad.
your job,
His
I wasn't
company
talking to any
owns
artists.
It's
Yeah.
just your
He
problem,
thinks
yeah.
he's like, you know, it's Christie